Good morning to guests from Indonesia. Good afternoon to participants from the Pacific countries. Welcome to the opening ceremony of the online training on added value of fishery products. Take place online over the next 2 days on July 20 to 21, 2022. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nani Susilawati, and it is an honor to greet you from the Banyuwangi Fisheries Training and Extension Center as the event's host. Regret from Banyuwangi, Sunrise of Java. Ladies and gentlemen, we gathered at this event with God's blessing and graces. So I invite the entire audience to pray for a moment that God will always bless us and make this event rewarding for all of us. Let's pray. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the training was organized by Republic of Indonesia's Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and in collaboration with Non-Lignite Movement Center for South Technical Corporation, NAM Center, and Secretariat of High Level Panel of Sustainable Oceans Economy. From its institution have been invited, whom I will gladly greet, the Honorable Head of the Marine and Fisheries Research and Human Resources Agency, Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, Mr. Inyoman Radiarte. The Director of International Development Corporation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Madam Maria Renata Hutagalung. Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia's embassies and consulate general in Suva, Port Moresby, Manila, and Umeå. The acting director of NAM Center, Ambassador Dier Nurbintoro. Policy lead of High Level Panel for Sustainable Oceans Economy, Mrs. Elisa Northrop. Head of Marine and Fisheries Training and Extension Center, Mrs. Lily Aprilia Prekiwati. Head of Banyuwangi Fisheries Training and Extension Institute, Mr. Ahmad Subiakto. Head of Banyuwangi Regency Fisheries, Mr. Alif Rahmat Kartiono. BPPP Banyuwangi Instructors, Mrs. Pradita, Mrs. Erika, Mrs. Rita, and Mr. Nanang. And of course, all of participants of the online training on added value of fishery products. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin today's activities by hearing the remarks from the acting director from NAM Center. Ambassador Dier Nurbintoro, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Nani.
Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon, Pacific. The Director of the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, Madam General in Suva, Port Moresby, Manila, and and Umeå. Partner of the Online Movement Center for South Technical Corporation and Center. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and a pleasure for me to speak at the opening ceremony of this online training course on added value of fish and fisheries products. I'd like to take this opportunity to greet everyone to this virtual platform. Allow me to take this opportunity to thank the government of the Republic of Indonesia for collaborating with the NAM Center in organizing this training, gathering stakeholders from Pacific countries and providing technical expertise. Directors, ladies and gentlemen, we can see how developed countries produce food that exceed their domestic needs and sell it to developing countries, resulting in high costs for developing countries to buy imported food. In addition to the issue of food import, we can see how individual daily energy intake has not been evenly distributed around the world with low energy intake in developing countries. Looking at the developing countries' wealth of natural resources, we are optimistic that these food problems can be solved if developing countries people have the knowledge and skills required to process natural resources products into food. As a result, training like the one we're attending today is part of our commitment to achieving food security in developing countries. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the State of World Fisheries and Aquaculture, SOFIA, total fisheries and aquaculture production in 2020 was 214 million tons, of which 178 million tons were aquatic animals and 36 million tons were algae. Fisheries and marine products have the potential to become the world's largest food source in order to improve human nutrition, health, and quality of life. Consumers can get high quality animal protein, essential amino acid, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals from fisheries products. In terms of health considers Japan, one of the world's largest consumers of fishery products, where the life expectancy is very high and the risk of obesity and death due to heart disease is low. As a result, we can all agree that consuming fisheries products is critical and the best solution for developing countries in terms of meeting nutrition and public health goals. Madam Directors, ladies and gentlemen, people who live in rural coastal areas can gain economic benefits from fisheries products by trading them as commodities. Women in rural areas can also be empowered because they can participate actively in the economy by performing fish and shrimp processing activities that add value to household economy. We are grateful to the Asian and Pacific participants who attended today's training because it demonstrated a strong desire to play an active role in the shared vision of generating economic, nutrition, and health benefits that improve the well-being of the people in developing nations. Madam Directors, ladies and gentlemen, it is critical that we all understand that if coastal communities are equipped with the skills to process catches, we can avoid the risk of loss of freshness and quality of catch due to the long distance from the coast to the processing site of due to a lack of infrastructure. This training, I believe, will provide participating countries with additional skills and knowledge to make the best use of catches. I also hope that the participants of this training will continue to build relationship with one another in order to strengthen solidarity between Asian and Pacific countries, particularly in the fisheries sector. I hereby request that all participants make the most of this training's benefits and opportunities. After this training, I hope to see an increase in food productivity based on fisheries products in Asian and Pacific countries that promote food self-sufficiency within a year or two. Mr. Director, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the discussion that will take place during the training will result in influential recommendation for promoting global food security policies. Finally, please allow me to thank you for taking the time to attend this training and wish you fruitful deliberation. I thank you, madam. Thank you, Ms. Nani.
Thank you, Ambassador, for your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Director of International Development. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh iya, iya. Coba.
ladies and gentlemen, the Director of
Mohon maaf, suaranya belum terdengar.
I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, the Director of International Development Corporation, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, will make the following remarks. Let us greet Madam Maria Renata Hutagalung. Madam Director, the screen is yours.
Thank you. Honorable Ambassador Diarnur Bintoro, Acting Director of Non-Aligned Movement Center for South-South and Technical Cooperation. Honorable Mr. E. Nyoman Radiarta, Chairman of the Agency for Marine and Fisheries Research and Human Research, Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries. Honorable Mrs. Eliza Northrop, Policy-Led High-Level Panel for Sustainable Ocean Economy. Mr. Ahmad Subiakto, Head of Banyuwangi Fisheries Training Center, representatives from Indonesia's diplomatic missions in Suva, Port Moresby, Manila, and Numea, distinguished guests and participants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. First and foremost, I would like to thank the organizing committee for the preparation and the holding of the online training course on added value fish and fishery products. Allow me to extend a heartfelt welcome to all the participants and experts from the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries and the Banyuwangi Fisheries Training Center on the opening session of this online training course. Distinguished guests and participants, ladies and gentlemen, at the very beginning of the pandemic, new normal era has been a challenging one for all of us. 2 years into this pandemic, we are still working hard to keep our wellness while focusing on our collaborated efforts to ensure that we can come back stronger from this situation together. Nevertheless, this new circumstance shall not be an excuse for us not to be more productive. On the contrary, we continue to foster our capacity with new skills and knowledge that will benefit us in the post-pandemic world. I believe that most of us give the go-ahead to online training as a means to adapt with the pandemic. It's not easy to adjust what used to be an activity that requires physical presence into a virtual format. However, it is the best solution to overcome the great distance and hurdles today. I hope that all the participants will attain learning experience during the course of the training and gain valuable knowledge on the theme of the training, namely added value of fish and fishery products. Current processing technology can transform fish into many variants of fishery products, which has higher value than its original form. The technology could process fisheries goods both in traditional and modern way, with the latter yielding higher quality and greater quantity. Today's training will be a platform for experts and participants to share and exchange knowledge on diversification of fish and fishery products by using fish and shrimp as raw materials. This training is another fine example of the value of South-South and triangular cooperation, and the government of Indonesia believes that through this strategy, it can contribute to the global effort in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals 2030. Distinguished guests and participants, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia continues with its strong commitment to advance concrete cooperation and contribute towards regional stability, resilience, and sustainable development in the region. In this light, Indonesia appreciates the efforts of all our development partners to collaborate and achieve our mutual goals to set us forth. For that reason, I would like to express my gratitude and highest appreciation to Ambassador Diar Norbintoro and his team at the NAM Center, and also the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries for their cooperation and initiative to hold this training course. It is my hope that this fruitful partnership within the framework of SSTC will be sustained and continue to expand in the future. Indonesia is committed to support this training and continue to work together with NAM Center and the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fishery. And more importantly, Indonesia continues in seeking the possibilities of future cooperation programs with all the participant countries, as well as in exploring cooperation on various potential sectors that can be utilized within the SSTC. Distinguished guests and participants, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude my remarks, allow me again on behalf of the National Coordinating Team and Ministry of Foreign Affairs once again to express my heartfelt appreciation to all related agencies, Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, including the Banyuwangi Fisheries Training Center and to NAM Center in Jakarta for their efforts to initiate this training course. Finally, yet importantly, stay safe and healthy, and let me also echo Ambassador Diar's wish that this training will be beneficial for all the participants and yield a higher increase in fish productivity. Thank you.
Madam Director, thank you for your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, now we will hear from the head of Marine and Fisheries Research and Human Resources Agency, Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, who is representing the Minister of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries of the Republic of Indonesia. Let us welcome Mr. Inyoman Radiarte.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Nina. Your Excellency, Diar Nurbianto, Director of Non-Alignment Movement Center for South-South Technical Cooperation. Mrs. Elisa Northrop, a policy lead high-level panel for sustainable ocean economic. Mrs. Maria Renata Hutagalung, a Director of International Cooperation Development, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Representative from the Coordinator Ministry of Maritime and Investment, esteemed trainers, instructors, and participants, ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning from Banyuwangi, East Java, Indonesia, and best wishes to all of us. I hope everyone keep up with the good spirit to stay safe and healthy during this challenging time, because our spiritual health is just as important as our physical health. This online training will be held in 2 days ahead, starting from today, 20 up to 21 July 2022, which is followed by 26 participants from Fiji, New Caledonia, Samoa, Kiribati, Palau, Solomon Islands, Nauru, Papua New Guinea, and Indonesia, under collaboration between the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, NAM Center for South-South Technical Cooperation, and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as Indonesian commitment to actively develop capacity building, participate in high-level panel of sustainable ocean economic, and Indonesia presidency in G20. Distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, marine and fisheries sector hold an important role to answer the issue of food security and sustainable consumption. Those transfer of knowledge on fisheries processing should be done for the country member of South-South cooperation. A competent human resource as the main key of the marine fisheries development. Therefore, this online training objective are to increase human resource capacity of all participants. On the other hand, the COVID-19 pandemic has demanded that we continue to be adapted to various changes, including maximizing the use advanced in digital technology. For this reason, we carry out this online training. Through this training, I need to underline that this activity is an opportunity to develop business and network, as well as encourage economic development between Indonesia and the participating countries. Please take into account that during this workshop, we are all learning and sharing experience together. Distinguished guest participants, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries of Indonesia, I would like to thank to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the NAM Center for South-South Technical Cooperation for the collaboration that have been going so well so far, including a series of activities to increase a marine and fisheries capacity, which this time was carried out online from Banyuwangi, East Java, Indonesia. Congratulations and success to Banyuwangi Fisheries Education and Training Center. Please take advantage of the potential network with the capacity of participants. To all participants, I wish you all fruitful and a productive workshop. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi 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 Om.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Nyoman Radiata, for your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude the opening ceremony, let us take a virtual photo session. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn on your cameras. Give me your beautiful and handsome smile. Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, with the virtual photo session, it means that our opening ceremony is getting close to the finish line. On behalf of PPP Banyuwangi, I would like to thank everyone for attending today. Now we can watching the short video from admin, please.
The sea and its content are a source of life for all mankind that must be preserved, so that the potential for overfishing is also not good for the survival of marine life. In addition to cultivation as a means to improve the quality of fresh fish, the Indonesian Ministry of Marine Affairs, through BPPP Banyuwangi, want to provide training material for the use of marine products as a support and improvement for the community. Because this fish processing job can be done by women. For example, making shrimp dumpling, fish curry puff, fish risolas, and shrimp wonton. This work, if done properly and correctly, can add to the economic value of the fisherman life or group. addition, the Indonesian Ministry of Marine Affairs through BPPP Banyuwangi provide this training to take advantage of the higher value of the great catch and more profit. What is the practice of making it live? We follow together.
Thank you for watching short video from BPP Banyuwangi. Now I will turn over to Mrs. Eliza Northrop, Policy Lead of High-Level Panel for a Sustainable Ocean Economy, to deliver a presentation on transformation of sustainable ocean economy. Mrs. Eliza, the screen is yours.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today. I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully this works. I have a presentation.
Yes, please.
Okay, let me just get this going. Sorry.
Yes, okay.
Excellent.
Excellent.
So as you mentioned, I've been asked to speak today to an initiative that Indonesia is very much a part of and has been one of our founding members. It's the High-Level Panel for a Sustainable Ocean Economy. I work within the secretariat to this panel that's housed within the World Resources Institute. So I'm going to briefly talk through sort of the nature of the panel and some of the research that we've done in the past that relates specifically to fisheries and ocean food, which is the topic of the training today. Very briefly, some history. We were established in September 2018. We are an incredibly unique initiative as we have 17 member governments, and our members are the serving heads of state of those governments. So it's the presidents and prime ministers that really steer and set the agenda for this panel, which is the only panel of its kind. I'll get to some of those members in a sec. But our aim has always been to work across governments, business, financial institutions, NGOs, to be driven by science and research to really catalyze a new ocean agenda for 2030. So here are our members. As I mentioned, Indonesia was one of our very first founding members when we were established in 2018. We've recently had 3 new members join. That's the United Kingdom, joined us a couple of weeks ago as part of the UN Ocean Conference, the United States and France earlier this year. So that is our current 17 members, very diverse. As you can see, we cover all ocean basins and really reflect the complexity of the ocean economy rather than sort of focusing on one particular aspect. One of our main sort of mission statements is to bring together the worlds of ocean health and ocean wealth and show that we can have ocean wealth and ocean health at the same time. And we advance a 3 Ps narrative that through protecting effectively, producing sustainably from the ocean, which is what we're talking about today, we can all prosper equitably from the ocean. So that is very much our mission from the start and has informed all of our research and all of our policy and action work. So the Ocean Panel, since it started, has really been underpinned, as I've said, by a very clear foundation of knowledge and science. We have over 250 external experts globally multidisciplinary scientists and economists and lawyers that have produced some really cutting edge research for us. I'll go through some particularly relevant ones in a sec. We also have a huge policy aspect to our work, which I'll also talk through, which looks at this 2030 roadmap that the 17 governments have developed jointly and politically endorsed. And lastly, we have action. Both action by our member governments, as well as helping to catalyse and accelerate action within the broader community. This is some of the knowledge and science that I mentioned earlier. We published 16 blue papers, a huge body of knowledge on the state of the ocean, how to transition to a sustainable ocean economy, picking up on key themes in terms of food, energy from the ocean, systems transition within the ocean, humanity's relationship with the ocean. We've also done a number of special reports on more emerging or topical themes, huge research around climate change. We've recently just released a special report on sustainable tourism, to which we featured a number of case studies from Indonesia. And lastly, some of this roadmap, 2030 roadmap, the transformations that I've mentioned. All of this is available on our website, www.oceanpanel.org. A huge body of knowledge there to help inform policy and action within all of our member countries as well as globally. Here's just a sample of some of our key findings across some of these research papers. I'll speak to the first one in a sec, but as you can see, we really cut across all topics relevant to how to achieve a sustainable ocean economy. I just wanted to point to 3 of these blue papers that I mentioned earlier that have particular relevance to fisheries and food from the ocean, relevant to the discussions today. We did a lot of research into organised crime in the fisheries sector, illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, which Indonesia has been a huge champion and leader in, and the future of food from the ocean. So I'll speak to a couple of these findings now. So in terms of food from the ocean, I think we've really championed considering how food from the ocean, fish, other bivalves, mollusks, can really play a more fundamental role in feeding future populations. The research has shown that food from the ocean has a very unique role to support food security for these 5 reasons that are on the screen at the moment. Supporting climate change. Food from the ocean generally has a much lower greenhouse gas footprint than high energy intensive proteins on land, such as beef or lamb. In terms of efficiency, again, some of these particularly bivalves or unfed mariculture are very efficient in terms of protein to land and water ratios. Unlike land-based food production, cultivating food from the sea is less constrained in terms of land availability and water availability, if done well and sited properly. Nutrition, I think we all know that food from the ocean is incredibly nutrient dense and quite unique in terms of being able to improve the health of future populations as well as provide them with a sustainable source of protein. And lastly, accessibility. For many coastal populations, food from the ocean is far more accessible than land-based proteins. So this is why we've done a lot of research into food from the ocean and how food from the ocean can play a really vital part in feeding future populations. So some of the key findings on this are now on the screen. Already, I think fish accounts for about 20% of animal protein consumed by countries and about 6.7% of all protein consumed by humans globally. This obviously varies considerably. Many of the small islands, I think, get about 50% of their protein from fish and the ocean. And as I mentioned on the previous slide, for many of those reasons I talked about, food from the ocean is really uniquely positioned to contribute to food security. The third bullet there, some of the FAO statistics about just how much protein future populations are expected to require. So the research we did, which is pointed to in the final line, and this is in the Food from the Ocean paper that I mentioned earlier, under optimistic projections with the right sort of policy and legislative framework, looking at marine aquaculture, mariculture through feed innovations and the necessary uptake, we've estimated that the ocean could provide over 6 times more food than it does today, and 2/3 of the animal protein needed to feed that 2050 population. So tremendous potential in terms of food from the ocean. Of course, this won't happen easily. The papers outline a number of priorities and recommendations. A couple of those are on the screen now. Achieving this potential sustainably, I should say, will require major policy shifts, reducing the overfishing of wild fish stocks, again, really driven by IUU and harmful subsidies. And there's a statistic at the bottom of the screen there about just the global losses that are anticipated from illegal fishing, around the 10 to 23 billion dollars per year in illegal fishing. So if we can pull back on overfishing driven by some of these main drivers while sustainably expanding mariculture, particularly unfed species, so bivalves, seaweeds, mussels, oysters, those types of bivalves, and seaweeds, while also shifting fed mariculture to alternative feed that doesn't rely on fish products, is more sustainable, lower carbon footprint. We're starting to get close to realizing some of that potential that our research has pointed to. That was just sort of a brief insight into some of the particularly relevant research that we've done over the last a few years related to food from the ocean and fisheries. But I wanted to speak now very briefly to the other side of our agenda that I spoke about earlier, which is the policy side, and this 2030 roadmap that has been developed very closely with our member governments and then endorsed at the highest levels by our leaders. This was launched in December 2020, Transformations for a Sustainable Ocean Economy, a vision for protection, production, and prosperity. Again, this is available online. It outlines 5 key areas of transformation across the sustainable ocean economy. These are both ambitious, but also pragmatic. At the end of the day, these have been carefully negotiated and agreed by governments. So we know that they are achievable while still having the requisite level of ambition. Those 5 areas are on the screen now. Building ocean wealth, ocean health, ocean finance, ocean equity, and ocean knowledge. Within each of these 5 areas, we have clear 2030 goals that need to be achieved and priority actions to achieve each of those goals. So a very, very robust and comprehensive roadmap for transformation towards a sustainable ocean economy. So within the ocean wealth bucket, one of the 2030 goals that we have that relates to ocean food and covers off on many of the aspects that I've already talked about. This is on the screen at the moment, just to give you a sense of what this is. The 2030 outcome that we have identified closely maps to that research that I mentioned, which focuses on the restoration of wild fish stocks, harvesting of those wild fish stocks at a sustainable level, but also really looking at sustainable aquaculture to meet global needs and reducing waste throughout the value chain. So that's our goal of where we believe the ocean food needs to be by 2030. And to the right of the screen are the 7 priority actions that will support the achievement of this outcome. IUU fishing is the first, prohibiting harmful fishery subsidies, the second, again, minimising bycatch and discards throughout the seafood supply chain. Then looking into how we rebuild depleted fish stocks in the wild, and then some of the governance aspects through 5, 6, and 7, looking at how we can strengthen the regional fisheries management organisations, providing the necessary governance around harvesting new species from the ocean, and then lastly, making sure that as we expand aquaculture, that it's done sustainably and the environmental impacts are identified and managed appropriately. In addition to these 5 areas, the transformations has a headline commitment that each of the member governments has committed to and are currently working on achieving. So that main commitment is for each of the member governments to sustainably manage 100% of the ocean area within national jurisdiction, so their exclusive economic zones, guided by sustainable ocean plans that will be in place by 2025. They're encouraging other countries to join in this effort, as this type of comprehensive and holistic management of 100% of national waters is really critical to achieving some of those outcomes and that vision for protection, production, and prosperity that the panel has had. To support countries in developing sustainable ocean plans and doing all the necessary technical and policy and convening work to achieve this quite ambitious commitment, we have developed Ocean Action 2030, which is a coalition of partners, as you can see on the screen there, so large development banks, as well as technical partners, UN agencies, that are able to provide technical or financial assistance to our member governments, as well as other governments that share our ambition in developing sustainable ocean plans. This was just launched last year, so we're very much in the early stages of getting this going, but we're starting to work with initial countries already on technical and financial assistance. So it's a matching process. If countries require assistance, they identify what type of assistance they require, whether that's technical or financial, and then we look for a match within the partners within the coalition to provide that technical or financial assistance. And again, obviously the vision that we're working towards is by 2030, all ocean and coastal states will be sustainably managing 100% of the area within their national jurisdiction. So that is a very quick overview of what the high-level panel for a sustainable ocean economy is. Obviously, Indonesia's role within that, some of the research that we've published over the last few years, as well as our main sort of agenda towards 2030. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Eliza, for your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, because of limited time, I would like invite participants to ask the question or provide feedback of the presentation. Please leave a comment in the chat section. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now we moving on to the next agenda. I would like to Mrs. Rita to deliver presentation how to make curry puff. Mrs. Rita, the screen is yours. Excuse me, the voice can hear. Okay. Mrs. Rita?
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to meet you at this training session. Now, let me introduce myself. My name, Rita Yuliati, as instructor in Fisheries Training and Extension Institute in Banyuwangi. I hope you are all in good health and enthusiastic to learn together. At the first day of training, we will learn together about fish-based processing. And for the first session, we will make fish curry puff. To make fish curry puff, I was assisted by my colleague, Mrs. Gita. Please join us, Mrs. Gita. To make delicious fish curry puff, we need good preparation for ingredients, equipment, and sanitation hygiene. Okay, class. To produce fish curry puff, we have 6 steps. First step, making dough. To make fish curry puff, we need 2 kinds of dough, that is water dough and oil dough. Let's start making the first dough, which is water dough. To make a water dough, we need the ingredients: 125 grams medium protein wheat flour, 1 teaspoon tapioca flour, and then 25 grams unsalt butter, then a half of teaspoon salt, a half of teaspoon sugar, a quarter teaspoon seasoning, a quarter teaspoon pepper powder, and then 55 milliliter fresh water, okay, everyone. To make a water dough, we use a bowl with capacity of 3 times the size of the ingredients formulation to provide space for the kneading process. Put the 125 grams medium protein wheat flour, 1 teaspoon tapioca flour, 25 grams unsalted butter, a half of teaspoon salt, a half of teaspoon sugar, a quarter teaspoon seasoning, a quarter teaspoon pepper powder, okay, let's mix all of the ingredients until become coarse grain. Add 55 milliliter fresh water for the last time. Next, mix it slowly by hand until the dough is thickened, like this. Cover it with wrapped plastic. Set aside. Okay. We continues. To make oil dough. We make the second dough, that is oil dough. We need ingredient 90 gram medium protein wheat flour, 1 teaspoon tapioca flour, and then 35 grams shortening. Okay. And then 15 gram unsalted butter, a quarter teaspoon salt, a quarter teaspoon sugar, a quarter teaspoon seasoning, a quarter teaspoon pepper powder. Okay. Okay, everyone. To make oil dough, we use a bowl with capacity of 3 times the size of the ingredient formulation to provide space for the kneading process. Put the 90 grams medium protein wheat flour and then 1 teaspoon tapioca flour, (35 grams) shortening, and then 15 grams unsalted butter, a quarter of teaspoon salt, a quarter teaspoon sugar, a quarter teaspoon seasoning, a quarter teaspoon pepper powder. Okay, let's mix of the ingredient until become coarse grain. Okay, one of the keys to making soft and layered pastry is to rest the dough. The purpose of resting the dough is not only to get a soft texture, so that the dough is more elastic and easy to grind. In the process of storing and resting, the dough must be tightly closed so that the dough does not dry out. If the dough is dry, it will break and tear easily when grinding. Next, cover it with plastic wrap, like this. Leave the dough for 15 minutes. Set aside the dough. Okay, everyone. Second step, we make stuffing of fish curry puff. While we waiting the dough rest, we are gonna make the stuffing of curry puff. Main ingredient for this stuffing is tuna meat, and like any curry fish, we need a lot of spices and spices. That is 250 grams tuna meat. Okay, and then 100 gram carrot, cut in small pieces. Okay. 100 gram potato, cut in small pieces. 25 grams scallion, cut in small pieces. 20 gram red onion, 10 grams garlic, 7 gram candle nut, 7 gram big red chili. Okay. 3 gram galangal, 3 gram turmeric, 3 gram ginger, 1/2 teaspoon pepper powder, 1/2 teaspoon coriander powder, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon sugar, 1/2 teaspoon seasoning, 50 ml coconut milk, 2 of lime leaf, 2 of bay leaf, 2 lemongrass stalk, 10 gram wheat flour, add 50 ml water, melt it in a thickener. 1 tablespoon margarine to stir fry the spices. 1 liter cooking oil. The first step, we will fry the potato and boil the carrot. We prepare a pan with oil to fry potato and prepare a pot for boiled carrot. Okay. According to tests of home, potatoes turn brown because they contain starch that undergoes oxidation when exposed to fresh air. Meanwhile, according to the sproul eats, potato filling are a natural way to prevent oxygen from reacting with starch. When filled, oxygen easily reaches the surface of the filled potato. There are several ways to prevent potato discoloration, such as lowering the pH of potato or cooling the temperature by soaking potato peels in cool water. Okay. Put potato fry the potato until crispy. Okay. And then boil the carrot. When water is boiled. We boil the carrot about 2 minutes. When carrot was ripe, take them out from pot and drain it. Like this. Transfer to bowl. Set aside. Okay, potato was crispy. When potato is crispy, take them out from pan and drain it from oil. Like this. Transfer to bowl. Set aside. Okay, everyone. Next, we will continue process tuna meat. Green the tuna meat with food processor for 2 minutes. Next, prepare a basin. Transfer the dough from the food processor. Tuna meat texture like this. set aside. Finish tuna meat processing. Now we process the spices. Mill the spices as garlic, cut in small pieces. And then red onion, cut in small pieces. Candle nut, cut in small pieces. Galangal, turmeric, and then ginger, big red chili, cut in small pieces. Using the blender, and then add the water. And then milling until we have 12 minutes. Okay, next prepare a basin, transfer the spices from the blender. Okay, set aside. When the spices we have milled, we are gonna process again by frying it. Okay, everyone, prepare frying pan and heat up 1 tablespoon margarine until melt. Okay, everyone, put smile spaces. Stir until well mixed. Stir the lime leaf, then put in. Stir bay leaf, and then put in. And then mash the lemongrass that put in. Okay, stir until will mix. Add seasoning. And then coriander powder. Pepper powder. Salt. And sugar. Stir all of the ingredient until golden brown and the smell is good. If ingredient, the smell is good, and then put tuna meat. Stir until well mixed. And then add carrot. Add potato. Then stir until mixed evenly. Add scallion. Stir all the ingredients until well mixed. Pour the coconut milk. Mix it. Make a mix 10 grams with flour and 5 ml water. As thickened, pour it to the stuffing. Stir all the ingredients until well mixed. When it's well cooked, take them out, move onto a bowl. Set aside. Stuffing like this. Let's become cool. Okay, set aside. Okay, everyone. In the beginning, we have made two kinds of dough. The water dough and oil dough. Next process, we are gonna mix all of the dough and process it to become wrapper for fish curry puff. Follow this step for processing water dough. Prepare a baked meat. Sprinkle the wheat flour on it. Take water dough and place it on the baked meat. Flatten it with rolling pin with the thickness of a half centimeter. Sprinkle the wheat flour. Set aside. Okay, everyone. And then follow step for processing oil dough. Take oil dough and place it on the baked meat. Flatten oil dough with rolling pin or hand with size smaller than water dough, the thickness of a half centimeter. Okay, set aside. Okay, everyone, and then mixing water dough and oil dough. Take the water dough with which we have thinned. Take the water jug which is we have thinned. Place the oil jug on top the water jug. And then fold all the jug like folding an envelope. And then roll them. And fold the egg to be neat.
Adek, tolong fotonya ibu dek.
And then flatten it again. Flatten it again until we have dough with thickness about 3 to 5 millimeter. Okay, and then roll the dog lengthwise. For the dog, the edge to be neat. And then divide the dog into 8 parts with the same size, approximately 25 grams each part. Cover it with wrap plastic. Finally, take one part of dough. Press it hard with hand. Then flatten with rolling pin slowly. Like this. Do this step for all the dough. The jog is cut using a circular cutter to produce a circular skin with a diameter of 10 centimeter. Like this. So the final product is neat and have same size. Sprinkle with flour between layer of wrapper so that it does not stick. During the skein making process, the jog must be covered with plastic wrap so the jog does not dry out as well as the wrapper that has formed. Okay, everyone. The next step is filling the fish curry puff. Until this step, we have two material. That's the stuffing and wrapper. Take one piece wrapper. Take one piece wrapper. Then place the stuffing in the middle of wrapper. Approximately 1 tablespoon. Fold it become a half circle. Fold it become half circle with stuffing inside of the wrapper. And form it like a pastel. Now we have a beautiful fish curry puff. Set aside. Do this step for all wrapper. Repeat. Take one wrapper. Then place the stuffing in the middle of wrapper. Approximately 1 tablespoon. Fold it become a half circle. And form it like a pastel. Set aside. Repeat again. Take one piece wrapper. Then place the stuffing in the middle of wrapper, approximately 1 tablespoon. Will it become half cycle? Will it become half cycle with stuffing inside of the wrapper? Press at the edge of wrapper. Okay, like this. Form it like a pastel. Now we have a beautiful fish curry puff. Set aside. May I repeat again? Okay, everyone. Now we have a beautiful fish curry puff. Okay, everyone. The next step, we are gonna fry and serving fish curry puff. Prepare frying pan. And for 1 liter cooking oil. Heat up the cooking oil. Okay, launching the National Library Board Singapore, curry puff is believed to be inspired by an English food called Cornish pastry. Its shape looks similar to pastel. Curry puff was likely introduced to the Malay Peninsula in the 18th. Some people argue that curry puff are similar to typical Portuguese empanada and samosa from India. The curry puff that originally appeared was similar in shape to a pie from the West, whose skin was thin and more fatty. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, there is also a homemade curry puff. The original curry puff contains curry potatoes, but there are also other creations such as spicy flavor, coconut flavor, mozzarella cheese. Okay, put the fish curry puff. Be careful. Okay, everyone. Meanwhile, in Indonesia, there is also a homemade curry puff. The original curry puff contains curry potato, but there are also other creations such as spicy flavor, coconut flavor, mozzarella cheese, etc. When it's well cooked, take them out, drain it from oil. Serve fish curry puff on a serving plate. Okay, everyone. The last step, package fish curry puff. Another way, we can store fish curry puff, use container box. Keep in the freezer with temperature means 18 degrees Celsius. In general, the main stuffing ingredient fish curry puff are pieces of fish meat and potato shredded. The filling on the fish curry puff is classified as not durable because in making curry, we use coconut milk that is easily damaged. So the fish curry puff cannot store for a long time at room temperature. This dish must store in frozen form. Fish curry puff in frozen form will make the dough resistant and fish curry puff filling more durable in storage, but can serve easy and quickly. Frozen fish curry puff is stored in a low temperature of about -18 degrees Celsius. In producing frozen fish curry puff, storage are important thing. Because in storing frozen food, you must pay attention to the stability of the temperature of the freezer so that the quality of food is maintained. Similar to other frozen food, during storage frozen fish curry puff, the temperature of the freezer must be considered so that the shelf life can be long and the quality is maintained. Okay, everyone, we have finished making delicious fish curry puff. Next time, can you try it at home and enjoy it with your family? Next time, you can try it at home and enjoy it with your family. After this, we will take a short break for 10 minutes to prepare for the next session. Okay, thank you for your attention. See you next time and have a nice day.
Thank you, Mrs. Rita, for the training. Ladies and gentlemen, the instructor will prepare tools and material to the next training session.
The event, I return to Mrs. Nani. Mrs. Nani, are you hear me?
Yes, I hear. Thank you, Mrs. Rita, for your training. Ladies and gentlemen, the instructor will prepare the tools and material for the next training session. So let we watching the short video about how to make curry puff. Admin, please.
Hello guys, today we are going to make fish curry puff. Okay, for the next step, there is two kinds of dough. First, we are going to make water dough. To make the water dough, prepare the bowl, put the wheat flour, tapioca flour, pepper powder, seasoning, salt, and sugar. Then mix it. Put the batter by using pastry knife. Mix the dry ingredient until become coarse grain. Put the fresh water and then vegetable oil. Next, knead it slowly by finger until the dough is thickened. Rest it for about 15 minutes. Cover it with plastic wrapping and set it aside. To make the oil dough, prepare the bowl, put the wheat flour, and then tapioca flour, pepper powder, seasoning powder, salt, sugar, then mix it. Put the batter and shortening. Mix the dry ingredient until become coarse grain. Next, mix it slowly by finger until the dough is thickened. Rest it for about 15 minutes. Cover it with plastic wrapping and set it aside. From it like this. Prepare the ingredient and measure as the recipe, then fry the potato that was cut in pieces. Two minutes. Set aside a potato. Turn off stove. Set aside the carrot. The next step, grind the tuna meat with food processor. Finish. The next step, tender the ingredients such as garlic, red onion, galangal, turmeric, ginger, big red chili, candleberry, add the water, heat up 1 tablespoon margarine until it melts. and then put in the grain that was tendered. Then the lemongrass is mashed. Turn the live limb. Turn dry leaf. Put the seasoning. Put the coriander. Put the white pepper, salt, sugar, and then put the meat chopper, add carrot and potato, put the coconut oil, and then the wheat flour is mixed with water as a thicken. Put the scallion. Finish. Stop. Stove. Wait until the heat is gone. Then move the stuffing into bowl. Now bake to skin down. Sprinkle the wheat flour on the baked meat. Roll the water jug with the thickness of 1 centimeter with sprinkle the wheat flour above it. Step 2. Roll the oil dough with the thickness 1 centimeter. Then from it like this. Roll it again. Roll it again to make it thinner. Cut. rolling it. Okay, then cut the dough for about 15 parts. Then press it hard with your palm. From it, as half circle, press and lock around the edge. Press. Then fry it till light brown. You can also keep in the freezer in temperature minus 18 degrees Celsius. That is all. Hope you can enjoy it. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the video how to make curry puff from Bibi Banyuwangi. Next, I would like to invite Mrs. Pradita to give us demonstration on how to make fish risolas. Mrs. Pradita, the screen is yours.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you. I introduce myself. My name is Pradita Puspasari. You can call me Dita. Like previous trainer, I am instructor in Fisheries Training and Extension Institute in Banyuwangi. In the second session, we will cook fish risolas. There are 5 steps to making fish risolas. That is, 1. Making stuffing of fish risolas. 2. Making fish risolas wrapper. 3. Forming fish risolas. 4. Adding butter coating and breadcrumbing. And the last, frying fish risolas. Okay, class. In the process of processing fish risolas, I will be assisted by my colleague, Mrs. Rita. Please join us, Mrs. Rita. Okay, class. Step 1. We are going to make the stuffing of fish risolas. The ingredient is tuna meat 250 gram. Carrot 100 cut in small pieces. Potato 100 cut in small pieces. Garlic 30 gram cut in small pieces or grated. Next, onion 500 gram cut in small pieces. Celery leaf 15 gram cut in small pieces. Sugar 20 gram. Salt 5 gram. Seasoning 5 gram. Pepper powder 2 gram. Liquid milk 200 milliliter. Margarine 20 gram for stir frying. Wheat flour 30 gram for thicken. And the last, water 60 milliliter mixed with wheat flour. Okay. In the first, clean the tuna meat using food processor. If you don't have a good food processing machine, you can chop in using a knife. Mince the fish meat until tender. Okay. Put the bowl. Like this. Okay, next, boil the waters. After the boil, put a carrot and potato for 5 minutes. After the potato are cooked into small pieces, soak the potato in water and a little salt. This so that the potatoes ripen evenly and the outside is broken. Of course, the result will be softer. In addition to keeping the color of the potato does not turn black, in they are not soaked using water and salt. Check potato and carrot. Waiting for a minute. After the potatoes are cooked into small pieces, soak the potatoes in water and a little salt. This is so that the potatoes ripen evenly and the outside is broken. Of course, the result will be softer in addition to keeping the color of the potatoes does not turn black in they are not soaked using water and salt. After carrot and potato will cook, then let's drain it. Okay. Put in bowl. Like this. Set aside. Next, add the margarine. Add the margarine until melt. Next, stir fry the garlic and onion until the smell is good. Garlic and onion smell is good. Put the green fish meat, carrot, and potato. Mix it. Add sugar, salt, seasoning, pepper powder, stir it well. Next, mix the wet flour, and water. Wet flour and water for thicken. Okay, next, put the liquid milk, celery leaf, and wet flour mix. Then pour 2 the staffing. Cook until done and stuffing is dried. On stirring stuffing, fish risolas should be carried out slowly. In this way, the wet flour with ripen and the taste of the stuffing of fish risolas will be delicious. At this stage, it must be taken care that the stuffing we cook is not overcooked. When the stuffing will cook, set aside and let it cool down. Put the bowl like this. Set aside. The second step is making of risolas wrapper. The ingredient is wet flour, 350 gram. Eggs, 3 grains. Seasoning, 3 gram. Salt, 3 gram. Sugar, 5 gram. Margarine, 10 gram, spread into drying pan. And coconut milk, 750 milliliter. Okay, prepare the bowl. Put the wet flour seasoning, salt, sugar, mix it. Okay, next, put the coconut milk. Mix it until become fluid by using mixer. If you don't have a mixer, you can use a egg whisk to stirring the wrapper of the fish risolas with a whisk egg for a while. So that the result is smooth and does not coarse. Okay, put the egg in the risol wrap dough, mix it well. Okay, and this step, set aside 400 milliliter of the wrapper dough in the bowl. with its use as butter dog, and 50 milliliters as ticking dough. Like this, butter dough and sticking dough. Next step, prepare on plain pan flat. Grease the little bit with margarine on the surface and heat up the frying pan. Okay. Pour 1 ladle of risolas wrap per dough. Shake it to the right and to the left. So it will spread evenly on the frying pan surface. Cook until the surface of risolas wrapper seems harder. Lift it up and put it on the tray. Do this step for all the dough. Tips for making wrapper. Use a non-stick flat pan and just brush oil off or butter over the surface of the pan. Don't use too much oil or butter so that wrapper we approach becomes smooth. Does not have holes and knit on the edge. Heat the pan first over low heat before the dough is poured. Then immediately shake the pen to flatten the dock over the entire surface of the pen. If the pen is less hot, when the dock is poured, then it does not immediately harder. And will run around as we try to level it. Unwrap the wrapper of the risolas. Use banana leaf so the risolas wrapper will not touching each other. Next step, forming the fish risolas. Prepare a pack of fish risolas wrapper on the baking mat. Put 1 tablespoon of stuffing fish risolas on the surface wrapper. Fold the risolas wrapper until filling covered with the wrapper, then roll up to cylinder shape. Roll up to cylinder shape. Give a little bit sticking dog at the edge. On the wrapper and stick it. Okay. Like this. Forming fish risolas should be when the wrapper dog is still warm. Because warm wrapper is usually more flexible and soft. Do this step for the end.
Ainsi de suite jusqu'à épuiser la farce.
Other tips are when the formation of risolas the advised application to the wrapper of the risolas should be evenly distributed so that the filling does not come out during frying. In the process of rolling the skin,
Dans le processus de pliage,
it must be pressed to produce a good cylinder shape.
il va falloir s'appliquer à bien dessiner les formes.
Try to make the resulting risolas have the same shape and size of approximately 7 centimeters.
Approximativement.
To the step for the end. Okay. Step 4 is adding butter coating and breadcrumbing.
Pour la suite, nous allons y appliquer de la matière grasse.
The ingredient is
Pour cela, les ingrédients sont les suivants.
butter coating taken from skin dog 400 milliliter,
400 grammes millilitres de pâte
and breadcrumbing 500 gram. Prepare butter, dog, and bread ingredient. Dip the fish risolas on the butter coating.
de poisson risoles dans le composé de pâte.
Pull it up from buttermilk and put it on the breadcrumb.
L'en sortir et mélanger.
Do this for all the fish risolas.
C'est le même processus pour poisson risoles.
When dipping the fish risolas in the buttermilk,
En trempant du risoles dans mélange pâteux,
drain it first before placing in on breadcrumb.
il faut bien retourner avant de disposer dans le plateau.
So that the crumb flour does not clump. If the crumb flour is coagulated,
Si notre pâte est coagulée,
then the crumb flour cannot stick to the surface of the wrapper. of the fishery solas
coller l'enveloppe de notre poisson risoles.
and will not be able to be restored. Okay, the last step,
La dernière étape,
frying fishery solas.
friture du poisson risoles.
The ingredient is
Pour cela, suivant,
cooking oil, 1 liter.
1 litre.
Heat up cooking oil on the frying pan.
Déverser de l'huile de cuisson dans un poêle.
Fry the fishery solas until it's done.
La friture du poisson risoles.
With the light brown color. Tips for frying fish risoles. Use a lot of hot oil. Make sure that when frying,
Vous rassurez pendant la friture.
fish risoles is submerged of all sides so that is cooked evenly.
De façon, assurez-vous que le produit est totalement immergé dans l'huile, de façon
Use high heat when frying fish risoles. This is so that it does not take a long time when frying it.
vous rassurer que cela ne prend pas beaucoup de temps pendant la friture.
In addition, frying fish risoles with high heat can make it not absorb much oil.
Vous rassurer que le produit n'absorbe pas pendant la friture.
When frying risolas,
Pendant
do not turn in around often so that the coating crumb do not fall out.
Rassurez-vous que la chapelure, élément décoratif, n'en tombe pas.
Causing the final product to be user-free and using the oil to get dirty. After the fish risolas are fried until cooked.
Alors nous procédons à la cuisson de notre
Take them
poisson
out
risolès.
and drain it so that the oil comes out perfectly.
Retourner de façon à ce que notre poisson risolès soit suffisamment immergé dans l'huile.
Do not fry fish risolas in a still frozen state.
Vous rassurez que le poisson risolès ne reste pas dans la même position.
Of course, this can make fish risolas explode off leg when fried. Because frozen fish risolas still have water content in them.
Parce que les poissons risolès congelés contiennent toujours de l'eau.
Now, after all the step of making risolas, we have complete.
Nous avons à présent épuisé les différentes étapes de la préparation du poisson risolès.
Fish risolas is ready to serve.
Et notre produit est prêt à être servi.
Plating fish risolas.
Pour risolès.
Iya bawaan sini. Sini kene. Okay. Fish risolas is ready to serve with tomato sauce or chili sauce. You can also keep it fish risolas with covered container. In the freezer with temperature minus 18 degrees Celsius. With that condition, fish risolas can store for up to 6 months. As I have done, these fish risolas have a delicious taste. I hope you try it for yourself at home. And enjoy this meal. Well, the practice of making processed fish ingredient, that is fish curry puff and fish risolas, has been complete. We have come to the end of training today. We meet again tomorrow. Thank you for your time and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mrs. Pradita, for your training. Ladies and
To end the first day of training, I invite Mrs. Nani to join us.
thank you, Mrs. Pradita, for your training. Ladies and gentlemen, now let us watching video about how to make fish risolas from BBB Banyuwangi. Admin, please. Okay, admin, can you hear me? Okay.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to make fish risolas. First, prepare the stuffing for fish risolas ingredient. When for the skin ingredient, next is how to make the stuffing fish risolas. First, grill the fish meat by using food processor. Like this. Boil the carrot and potato for 5 minutes. After well cooked, then let's drain it. Stir fry the garlic and onion with butter until the smell is good. Put the grilled fish meat. Put vegetable, which is carrot, potato, and celery. Salt, sugar, pepper powder, and seasoning. Stir it well. Next, mix the water with wheat flour. Then put the milk and wet flour. Dunk in the first stir. Set it aside and let it cool down. The next step is making of risolas fish skin. Put the wheat flour, salt, sugar, seasoning, and coconut milk. Mix it until become fluid using mixer. Put the egg and the risolas skin dough. Mix it well. Set aside water of the dough in the bowl, which is used as butter dough and sticking dough. Prepare flat pan in diameter 18 cm. Grease in the little bit with margarine on the surface and heat up the pan. Pour 1 handle of risolas skin dough, shake it to the right and to the left so it will spread evenly on the pan surface. Cook until the surface of risolas skin seems harder. Lift it up and put in on the tray. On the skin of the risolas, use banana leaf as insulator, so the risolas skin will not touching each other. Next, forming the fish risolas. Prepare a pack of fish risolas skin on the baking mat. Pour 1 tablespoon of stuffing fish risolas on the skin surface and spread it little wider. Fold the risol skin into cylinder until fish risolas cover with the skin. Give a little bit sticking dog at the edge of the skin and stick it. Continue this step with the skin dog. The next step is buttering. Prepare butter dog, which is for skin duck bread ingredient, which is breadcrumb. Dip in the fish risolas on the butter. Pull it up and put in the breadcrumb. Do this for all the fish risolas. Pull it up and drain it. Okay, you can try it for yourself and see you again on the next video. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching video from BPP Banyuwangi. All the materials of this training consist of module, tutorial video can access at the Google Drive. The link of Google Drive has been informed at logistic information, which has been sent to participants' email. As Mrs. President's training concludes, our session concludes today. We will meet again tomorrow with different instructors on the same Zoom meeting link and meeting ID. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.